Hello and welcome to the Voices of Students podcast. I'm Angelico,
I'm Damien.
And I'm Marcelo.
and we are grade 9 students from BTB School. We are also joined by Mr. Stephen, our physics teacher, as our special guest,
Hello, good morning.
and we'll be having a short Q&A throughout this podcast, so please do not miss out on that. All right, this is our first ever podcast, so I apologize for any feelings hurt, and if you do enjoy this podcast, please give a big thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, so today's topic will be about the pros and cons of online learning. I'd like to ask a question to Damien.
Yes.
So, what is your experience with online learning so far? Do you enjoy it? Do you feel that it is ineffective in any way? Please do give us your thoughts.
Okay. I don't mind online learning, although I must say that I'm getting a little low on scores in my open book exams, which frustrates me because I should be getting higher scores than before since we are allowed to open our book. So yes, I do feel it is a little bit ineffective.
Yes, while we're still at it, let's talk about our first disadvantage of online learning, which are open book exams. You see, exams are given to test the students' knowledge and understanding of the subject, and in them opening their book proves nothing at all.
I think they are trying to be nice to us students.
Yes, I understand that the school is being nice by letting us open our books during our exams, but sorry for sounding rude, but it is very obvious that schools these days are about passing and not learning.
While we're still at it, I would like to ask some questions to Mr. Steven regarding this open book exam. So, Mr. Steven, what are your thoughts on open book exams?
Okay, we're technically not all schools actually having what you call open book exam, but in our school, we try to use this policy, given the fact that actually the education ministry try to not only the education ministry but the whole world try to record or try to study the effect of this pandemic. Okay, so not to add the stress to the students. Okay, we try to make sure that the learning must be continuous, even though you're correct that there is a compromise and happening in this moment. Okay, so what I feel is, yeah, same feeling with what you actually feel that yeah, some students feel that it's unfair. Some students actually think that it's actually like the school is trying to be like more relaxed. And but for me, it's a matter of what they call how the students actually try to be true to themselves. Okay, uh because at the end of the day, as I told you, whether regardless you open your books or not, okay, you're actually doing a correct assessment in which did you learn something out of it. Okay, it is not about the scores for me. It is more about, okay, what you learn, okay, after you open the books or you close the books, okay, from the questions that we presented. Okay, so again, it is for me as a teacher, yes, we're looking about the output. Okay, as for you as a students, actually you're looking for the output, which is the number, the score. But for us, the educator, the teachers, we're looking about the output, which is the learning output. Okay, how far or how much you learn from this one. Okay, and definitely we're trying actually to have an idea of a closed books also, but at this time is with our setup, okay, it's so difficult to control. Okay, it's so difficult to control because I mean, yeah, we don't know whether you're opening your books or you're closing your textbook, right? So by that, just to make to ensure that, okay, that the policy is all the same for everybody, so we make, okay, this open books system. Okay, a little actually for me, a little bit actually concerned with my grade 10 and grade 12, which are their examiners. Okay, they are their examiners. They will take their real IGCSE and real IB exams, and I afraid that they will use with it. Okay, but for you grade nines, I think no problem with it. You still have 1 year to go to practice again, to go back to reality, which is a closed books examination. Okay, yes, I think that's all.
Okay, sir. Another question. How would you react if you caught one of your students cheating in your open book exams?
Uh, First, react is, of course, I will be feel indignant. Okay, I'm not be mad, but I feel indignant because I mean it's not about passing grades. You know, cheating is not about passing a subject, but rather that is about the character. I feel indignant to the students, okay, of not following the procedure and policy, okay, because when we cheat, actually, it's not about, okay, it's something deep inside, okay, you're developing a bad habit, okay, and this is something that's why I feel indignant about, okay, the students who do this, because maybe, yeah, maybe he is not prepared, especially for my subject. If you cheat, there are only two things: okay, you are not prepared to the exams, or you're not studying, okay, the lessons. So by that, I feel bad because I mean, there is no reason why you will cheat in my subject, okay. So, and third thing is, yeah, you're developing a bad habit, because I told you, when you start cheating, you're cheating actually in small things, and after that you can cheat in some different aspects in your life, okay. And this is where actually corruption happening, okay. When you become a leader, you become corrupt now because you're able to cheat, okay, something. And also when you have relationships, okay, when you're getting married, cheating also can be can be there, okay. So, or
Yes.
you're having girlfriend, boyfriend. So cheating actually is something that is not all about passing scores, okay. You're developing a habit, and according to
Yes.
psychology, all you need to do actually is to repeat, okay, two or three or more repeated habits, repeated action to become a habit. So it's something that's very difficult to change. So for me, I feel indignant, okay. I feel
Yeah.
indignant because you opt, okay, to resort to something which is not to something which is bad, okay. And yeah, that's my answer.
Thank you, sir. For another fact, I would like to add that schools also need to give us more time to relax with our eyes. Studies show that we need a 10-minute break for every 50 to 60 minutes spent with our gadgets. And so, with the amount of life lessons and recorded videos in a day, it is really hard for our eyes to maintain at its best performance. What do you think, sir?
I think is, yeah, that's scientifically, and yeah, that's scientific research. So I, as a science teacher, I cannot deny that fact, okay. But however, in reality, actually, we, if we try to be true ourselves, okay, and true to yourself, most of you actually can play whole day, okay. And it's, I don't think that it becomes an alibi. Yes, it's not healthy sometimes. That's why we teachers, okay, this is the reason why we have what they call a live and recorded, okay. Not all the time we have live sessions. The school makes sure that, okay, even though, yeah, we complete the time, or we complete the lesson, okay, we make sure that there is a recording sessions in every day in your subject, right? So by that, you are not required you to do, okay, in your recording. You can actually, or to watch the recording in your time. However, you can post actually. For example, we have here 1 hour and 30 minutes, right? You notice that your recording is like long lasting with 15 minutes. There are some times that we last 20 minutes. But this means that, okay, you have 1 hour to rest your eye. Okay, so according to research, you just need only 10 minutes to pause. And that's reality. And the reality is, this is the reality. I mean, some of you, even though actually, if for example, if it is a holiday, some of you can play for the whole night, 6 hours straight, 8 hours straight, okay. And I don't know, and it's not healthy. I think at choosing between lesser evil, I think it's better, okay, to study 5 hours straight, okay, rather than playing 5 hours straight, okay. And but speaking with our school policy, I think we try to, we try to consider that that research, okay, that psychological effect of online learning. So this is the reason why we have recording. Okay, and this is also the reason why recording actually is not okay the total time supposedly consumed, the contact period time. Okay, so it lasted only 10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
Ah, I see. I see. Right. So, um, thank you, sir, for
Hey,
that. Um, for your explanation and your thoughts about
you're always
relaxation with
welcome,
our
guys.
eyes and breaks between. What do you think? Yes, sir.
What?
Damien, what do you think?
Yes.
What do you think?
Um, well, in addition of us looking at Zoom meetings and stuff like that, we students also want to have some fun and play our phones also. So it worsen our eyesight as we're looking at gadgets all the time.
Exactly. Many of us, especially me and my siblings, we would like to play some games, but we won't have that much time because we're given too much homeworks and there's too much study material for us.
Yeah, same to me.
Yeah, like Sir said, online lessons are better than nothing.
Okay, so yes, indeed that online lessons are better than no studies at all. I completely agree with that, and I sure hope that all of our listeners also agree. But I personally think that the teachers should interact more with the students. And why not if the teacher interact with us? Like give us pop quizzes and online websites so that we will feel pressure and excitement. So they will make the lessons way more interesting and creative.
While we are still at this topic, let's move on to the next disadvantage, which is boredom. A lot of students feel that their online lessons are extremely boring, causing them to have less determination and motivation to study.
Yes, and they also have too much power in their hands. If they feel bored, they can just easily open their phone or another website, or just leave the class and give an excuse that they have technical difficulties or an internet problem. And let's be honest. Have you guys ever opened up your phones during a class because it's boring?
Yes, but only if I'm very,
Is that
very,
physics
very
subject?
bored. But
Is
most of
that
the
a physics
time, it's
subject?
just for
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
chatting with my friends and asking them about a topic that we're currently learning.
Did you do it in physics subject, Damien?
No, sir, no.
Of course not, sir.
It's fun, sir.
Physics
Physics
subject
fun.
is fun, sir. It is fun, sir. Physics is fun.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
I know. It's possible, guys. Yeah. Yeah. This is something one of the weakness of online. Okay.
The
But however,
teachers
as I told
can't.
you, we're facing a pandemic. Uh, this is the first time the whole world actually, even though online learning actually on distance learning actually is done, in the higher level like PhD, masteral. Okay. There is what we call distance learning happening. But for a usual traditional learning and we shifted to online learning is something the whole world actually tried to brace and we don't know the effect. However, as I told you, as a human being, what we learn from the history is that those grace, okay, those species who are able to adapt change are those people actually or species that survive. Okay, as a human being, which is actually to considered to be the higher intellect of all the species. Okay, we try to adapt changes right away. Okay, and even though yeah,
Yes.
we try our best. Okay, that's why as a students also. Okay, as a species. Okay, we're talking about here is animal kingdom and science. Okay, it's something that you need to challenge also to adapt change. Okay, the boredom actually is different now how you feel actually when you're in a classroom. Yeah, the boredom actually we're talking about here is something that you need to adapt also. Okay, and rather than it becomes beneficial, try to think something which is it will be disadvantage, sorry, it becomes beneficial to you. We try to adapt. Okay, we teachers also we feel also boring and then we keep talking for how many minutes. Okay, and the interaction is very very weak. Okay, even the connection sometimes. But these are something that we need actually to right away adapt. Okay, the key word here is adaptation. We need to adapt. Whatever problem we encounter, we need actually to be used with it and adapt. Okay, and turn this disadvantage to our own benefits. Okay, same as well with the boredom. Okay, we will try to be bored. Yeah, there's a lot of temptation. You can open some windows, play with your phones. Okay, pretending that you don't have internet connections. Okay, and right away you get out in the Zoom. This can be possible. Okay, can be possible. Okay, however, I told you at the end of the day, okay, those species were able to adapt this kind of change, including your negative behavior, is something actually able to survive. Okay, and yes, Damien told us previously that he was surprised in the online. Okay, he get lower score. Okay, in the open book system, and this is something that yeah, you Damien needs to adapt. Okay, this kind of changes. Yeah, it becomes
Yes, sir.
competitive. Okay, there are some students very good in tests, especially with the open books. Okay, and they're very quick in opening their books. Okay, we don't know. Okay, but however, at the end of the day, still who adapts faster are the one who survives this kind of system. Okay, and we hope again and cross fingers that yeah, soon after we go back again to the norms. Okay, but at this time, since the vaccine is not available, so we keep bracing with this kind of change. Okay, yes, Damien.
So yes, adaptation and survival of the fittest. Now, to our
Yes.
viewers, this is actually some of the reasons why we invite our physics and science teacher to this podcast. Because obviously he would give us answers like this, which would be very, very important and interesting to our right. So moving on. Boredom.
Remember that yeah, we can talk a lot of opinions, but we cannot deny science. Okay, we cannot
Yes.
deny the truth of science.
Yes.
That's a good thing of science, which I love. Okay, we can have different opinions, reactions, but still science actually we cannot. Okay, we cannot deny. Okay, we cannot deny the truth of science. Okay, yes.
Okay,
Continue.
so
Sorry.
yes, indeed, we students have a lot of more power than before, and we also have a very flexible schedule, which is ironically the next advantage, which we have already discussed, but we will discuss further.
Yes, students can watch the recorded videos whenever they want, and if they're tired, they can just go take a rest before continuing with their studies. Most students also feel a lot more comfortable studying at home than at school, which I am not in one of those most students.
Yes, I agree on that. When students studying in their houses, they will often face a lot of problems, such as laptop problems or laggy internet, which will deprove their efficiency in online classes. Especially students who have siblings who also having Zoom meetings, like myself, who definitely have a few internet problems. I would like to add as well that live lessons are useless if the students can't even hear what the teachers are properly talking about because of their unstable connection.
Okay, so for the final question, sir, if you are the head of the Ministry of Magic, I'm sorry, if you're the head of the Ministry of Education, if you're the head of the Ministry of Education,
I
what
wish.
changes would
Okay.
you make for online learning as both teachers
Okay.
and
First of all,
The Potterhead.
I am not. I read some circular of your ministry in education. Okay. But if you try to read the memo, okay, the policy, more or less all the policy actually is directly okay. Is more about the national schools. Okay. For national schools. Okay, and definitely we're for our school, okay, we're actually doing beyond what is the expectation of the ministry. Okay, and however, okay, since you're asking about what are the things that we try, if I'm the Ministry of Education, I would like to improve, or I would like to add. I think because your ministry actually, the good thing, if I hope you know that your ministry actually, or the government employ what we call a free at least a quota. internet quota for the learning or the students. Okay, I hope this is well implemented. They provide what we call free internet. Okay, for all the students. Okay, and my problem is with this online learning. Okay, I don't know how good is the internet outside Jakarta. Okay, how these kids actually will able to to have or learning continuous learning, because I mean, yeah, even though there's a pandemic, I think education must not stop. Okay, education must not stop. I still believe as educator, I feel that there must be a continuous. Okay, the only thing that happens actually in which education stops is in the world war. Okay, that's the history. Okay, but if there is with our technology at this time, with our actually technologies and that we have, I think we need to move all this our technology in order to have a better education, and it must be continued. And the problem is if there is a location in Indonesia in which okay they don't have internet connections, I think the Ministry of Education should have what they call another what they call second plan or third plan, second option, third options. Okay, aside from online learning. Okay, like for example, giving module. Okay, handing off what they call learning materials. Okay, so that these kids will continue learning. Okay, I don't know whether it's in their part of their policy, but if it is already part of the policy, that's actually a good one. But if it's a part of that not part of the policy, I think this must be added, because not all actually areas in Jakarta okay can be reached by the Wi-Fi connections, or they have internet connections, or even they have internet connection, the internet are so bad. Okay, and as what it one Marcelo actually tells that yeah, even though you have online learning, if you cannot hear clearly the teachers talking because of the bad connection, is actually useless. It is a waste of time, waste of energy, and because of that, yeah, uh, I think this is something that the government must ensure that the communication or the learning was actually received by each student. Okay, but in our school, I think we exceed the maximum, or not the maximum, but the minimum requirements of the government. Okay, and the good policy is still we they avoid what you call face-to-face learning. Okay, this is you know already the reason, right? So this is actually to control okay contact okay with each other. Okay, as long until we have what they call vaccine. Okay, is that the last question?
No,
Yes,
sir.
I
We
guess
still have a
so.
lot of questions for
Okay.
you. No, no, we still have some more.
Okay.
So, sir, there's another question that I wanted to clarify. And
Sure, sure.
as you know, sir, all of these questions are all obtained from our friends and our followers in our social media platforms. So, we are really reaching out to the voices of the students, literally the students, because most of them
Yeah.
are students from the school, students from my old school, my previous school. So they're all just giving us all those questions that they actually want to clarify to a real teacher like yourself, sir. So
Sure, sure,
there's some more questions, sir.
sure.
Um,
Laying it on.
right. So recently, this is a question from my old friend. Um, it seems to him that all the CS:GO and Call of Duty isn't going to work out that well for him and the online learning. So I I seen that BTB school is already preparing for the new normal protocol, right, sir? The
Yes.
face shields and everything like that, the disinfection methods. I've I've experienced it firsthand when I was taking my application test here. So I want to ask, is there any way that you can estimate when we're going back to school? Because that's been a question in my head and in my friend's head for quite some time now. Can
Okay.
you?
Theoretically, okay, I'm talking about theoretically. Okay.
Yes, of
It's
course, of
actually
course.
not only for our school. Okay, for the whole world. Okay, to go back to the norm. Even though there are some country actually, they
Already
already
started.
actually
Already started.
yeah
Already started
already
school.
started. Yes, yes, like Taiwan. in which they able to control the infection. Okay. However, for for this country, okay, the Indonesia, the I think theoretically we try only to ease this this actual regulation until there is a vaccine. Okay, so this will build us confident. Okay, that even though we get infected
See,
or
so
we get infected, we have something to fight with our body. Okay, we have an immune system to fight with. Um, I think that's the only answer at this time. Okay, unless okay, Indonesia will able to okay to flatten the curve of our what we call COVID-19 infections. If we able to flatten the curve, so statistically, okay, the match is there, and definitely this means that there will be actually easy traceable for those people who are infected. Okay. The reason behind it why we still prevent actually face to face because I mean the medical or the hospital the medical workers has a difficulty actually at to the mere fact actually if we check the latest actually bulletin of your country health bulletin actually they have now a scarcity of what they call hospitals or beds in the hospital. Okay, so this means that they cannot afford okay people to get infected more. Okay, and they don't have place to go with to go in. Okay, so I think with your answer, yes, we cannot tell until when. However, there's some good news actually of some other countries who develop okay vaccines that they're already in third phase. Okay, for your information, actually, vaccine is not like something that we okay we just learn it and after that we employ it. So the science of vaccine actually is a very complicated science in which it will undergo a lot of trials. Okay, why? Because we make sure that it is safe. Okay, because a vaccine actually becomes now your immune. Okay, it becomes now your immune part of your immune system, and we don't want to have something in our immune system which is actually develop another disease. Okay, so by that we make sure that all areas must be protected. Okay, so that's why there's a little bit time. So the mere fact the science of developing vaccine will lastly okay around 3 years. Way back before without this the developed technology around 5 years, but now we can actually minimize it to at least 1 year. So they try to make it faster. I hope okay they don't want to compromise. Okay, even though I would like to have right away a vaccine, but understanding the science of it, we don't want to compromise it. Okay, because we don't want actually we cure one disease after that we develop okay a severe one. Okay, so but again it's a lot matter of what you call choosing okay whether you would like to die right away or you would like to die okay in a longer way. So we don't know okay the effect of vaccine if we try to okay to make it very quick. Okay, and this is the reason why yeah there are some countries that try to halt it the third phase which is the last phase. Okay, there's a lot of actually pharmaceutical companies already in the third phase, and we say about third phase clinical trial, this means that it's already actually almost 99% okay there. Okay, so yeah, let's try to see some hope, and some actually epidemiologists okay predicted that maybe around December there will be available vaccine or around January or next year. So whatever once the vaccine will came out, I think your government are planning to buy it right away okay to have mass vaccination, and by that
ah,
yeah we will able now to be confident that we can go out now, and even though we will be actually get the virus, we will be immune. Okay, we will be immune and will not get infected. Okay, I think that's your the answer for that one. For the time, specific time, there is none. Okay, there's no specific time unless okay the hypothesis here is unless there is already a available vaccine. Okay, so the time frame depends okay and the results of the clinical trials, the last phase. Okay, so it will be very effective if they find out that there's no side effects okay of the people actually that is administered with their studied vaccine. Definitely right away okay they will actually so okay available it will they will sell it and it will be available in the market. Okay,
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions?
Well,
No, sir.
sir,
It's clear.
that is it for our podcast, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I think I know you're very very excited to have face to face. Okay, me too. Okay. If students actually feel that okay, this is a side for the teachers. If you feel that it's very very tough for you, we teachers also is very very tough for us. Okay. Same as you also. If you know, some of you actually have difficulty learning at home. We also okay, teachers we have difficulty at home. Me especially me. I have actually my 1 year old son, so so it's so difficult. Okay. And
Oh, 1 year
definitely
old. Wow.
yeah, I have my son. I have my actually my son in BTB also, which is 10 year old in P5, and I also have my son actually, which is also named Stephen. Both of them are Stephen, by the way, Stephen Brian and Stephen Mathian, Stephen Sebastian. So, and yeah, it's very tough
Wow.
for us. Okay, and working at home is very very tough for us. Okay,
I see.
and yep, and the idea here is focusing. Okay, so we teachers actually we just need just no don't need only just talking here, but we need to focus also what we're talking. And aside from that, the planning is actually different. Like for example, if for me if I'm in the physics lab, doing the actual experiment or getting the materials right away to demonstrate you is very easy. But for online like this one, especially at home, so definitely I need to be more creative. I need to be more actually to think more resources. Okay, if I don't have the real actual experiment, I need to find ways okay on how to lay on the information and the learning without having the real instrument fee. Okay, so it's very very tough for also for teachers. That's why we also hope that we can go back to the normal scenario. Okay, but again, uh, we're still blessed. Okay, uh, as a science teacher, we always think okay, or we always think that always be the positive side. Okay? At this time, we're always blessed compared to the other people who are suffering actually COVID-19. Okay, so again, we always look with that side of story that at least okay we're healthy, okay we're not in the hospital, we're not facing this kind of problem. Okay, the only problem that we have is the adaptation of this change due to the our pandemic. Okay, so yeah,
Okay, thank you very
for
much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
thank you for
Thank
the
you for
invitation. I hope yeah I give justice to your podcast. Okay, and
yes,
happy
yes,
learning. Okay, and yep, and yep, keep
yes.
doing this stuff. I hope you will get a very nice rating for your podcast today. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Okay.
again, this is
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Stephen.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Have
sir.
a
Thank you,
service.
guys.
Thank
Say
you very
bye.
much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. God bless.
Have a great weekend, guys.